Hey guys, and welcome to a of the Zombie Army Trilogy, brought to us by Rebellion, the guys who did the Sniper Elite franchise of games, which will become immediately apparent as you watch this video. Zombie Army Trilogy does exactly what it says on the tin. Set during an alternative end to World War II, you play as one of 8 protagonists, which is great because you get some diversity and you don't just play as the white dude, you play as the Sniper Elite. I chose to play as you'll see here, as a female Russian sniper who used to be a pro sniper in sort of like their equivalent of the Olympic team, and then war happened and she decided it was time to use the rifle to kill zombies. All of that story I just told you, while great, is just given to you from the flavor text when you pick her character. That's about as much you can ever expect when it comes to story in the Zombie Army Trilogy. But let's be honest, you're not buying this collection of zombie themed levels because of the story. You're buying it because you want to make zombie heads explode. That's perfectly legitimate. The first 2 campaigns in the Zombie Army Trilogy were released as standalone DLC for Sniper Elite V2 a few years ago, and the 3rd campaign, by far the best campaign, was brought out specifically for this collection. On top of that, we've also got a horde mode in here, and each of the 5 missions in each campaign last a considerable amount of time. I'm talking an hour plus. There's a lot of gaming here. The only problem is when the game is as repetitive as this, it can get a bit tiring. You're literally doing whack-a-mole for the most part. There are a lot of zombies, and in a way, the way they push the hardware with the amount of animations and characters on the screen is impressive, especially when you're doing explosions. I didn't notice much performance problems, but it gets samey, and it gets samey pretty quick. I found that was a bit of a problem in single player. In multiplayer, the problem is less so. It's just, it's one of those things. This game is clearly designed for co-op, 4-player multiplayer in mind. That's where it excels. The more people you have in here, the more fun you have. You get to share the experiences. You get to have a lot more fun together, blowing these zombies up. And there's not just zombies. There's a good variety of enemies. There's like running suicide zombies. There's the heavy zombies with guns. There's other demonic presences. I don't want to spoil too much because some of them are a surprise. It's not a spoiler to say you get to fight a demon Hitler at the end of the 3rd campaign. It's all over the promotional material, and it's awesome. You'll have a lot of fun doing that, I can guarantee it. But the core of this game is you use the Sniper Elite engine to navigate this world of bleak B-movie schlock, kill as millions, thousands, at least hundreds of thousands of zombies. It could be millions depending on how long you play it. The achievements definitely encourage a lot of play, and there is some big totals out there. There's leaderboards to encourage you to keep playing as well. So like I said, there's lots of campaign content, and on top of all the leaderboards, there's plenty to do in here. I wouldn't say it's the best game I've played. The repetitive nature of the combat can get a little bit wearing, as I've stressed, but in multiplayer it alleviates it a great deal, and that is definitely where the fun is to be had, is playing with your friends. What can I say? There's some jank on offer here. It's not perfect. The fact that, the initial 2 campaigns with DLC, it shows, but things do get more interesting. There's more variety in the 3rd campaign. There are non-player characters in the 3rd campaign, more interactions, more variety to the mission types that come up. It tries to do some things with contextual storytelling that feel a bit half-assed. There's just so little narrative in here, which is a shame because it is a real B-movie schlocky kind of idea and setting. You think they could have really gone for it and really gone gung-ho into the kind of grindhousey sort of visual aesthetic, but they don't really commit to that, which is a bit of a shame really, because it could have been very funny, for example, and they just sort of missed that beat entirely, and it does sort of suffer from a sort of self-serious tone where, as you can see from the action, it's far from serious. But the core of it's fun. If you enjoy the core shooting mechanic of Sniper Elite, you'll enjoy the same thing again here. The only problem is that you don't get to pick vantage points and scout out areas. You're kind of always on the back foot running and dealing with like a continuous stream of enemies coming at your face, and well, that's not really where a sniping game stands out as an enjoyable experience. But you know, it's kind of like Left 4 Dead with snipers. That's kind of how I see it. It even has safe rooms like in Left 4 Dead. I hope you enjoyed this review.